Hi, this is Rich Wagner again, CEO and founder here at Prevedere. Welcome to the second episode of my new series, Solving for Tomorrow, in which I address new topics each week around structuring data, creating intelligent forecast, and conducting business planning for large and mid-sized companies. In each episode, I'll cover a topic that has been top of mind to our clients, peers, and colleagues over the past few weeks. This week, we're going to take a step back and unpack what intelligent forecasting really is at its core. So for this week's topic, there's often a number of misconceptions on how to implement intelligent forecasting into an already established business process. But in reality, the process is pretty simple. With a bit of knowledge on today's technologies and forecasting processes as a whole, executives can better understand the value that intelligent forecasts bring to their organization. So let's get started. First, what is intelligent forecasting? Well, intelligent forecasting is simply a modernized way to forecast and plan for your business that takes advantage of both data and technology that's available today that maybe isn't used in the current forecasting process. So what do I mean by that? Well, companies now can leverage data outside their four walls as easily and readily as those inside, or the data inside, and they can take advantage of advanced machine learning, AI, even just new statistical approach to make a holistic and more accurate forecast. So the next question is going to focus on the data. What are the key data assets needed for intelligent forecasting? Well, data by itself, is just noise. It could also be very messy. So the first thing we need is structured data into a time series format. Because what we're going to do is forecast the future periods, whether it's next week, next month, next quarter, next 5 years, wouldn't matter. But to be able to forecast that, you need time series data as your inputs. Time series data internally is going to be your historical sales. Maybe it's revenue. It could also be volume, quantity. It really wouldn't matter, but it needs to have some sort of date field and then some sort of measure of dollars or units. And then the external data, again, needs to be really in a time series format to build a forecast for your business. It can be, structured data, things that come out each week, each month, each quarter, like housing starts and building permits and unemployment numbers, those kind of things. It could also be some unique alternative data sets, such as consumer behavior or mobility data that comes from our phones, as long as someone has turned that into a time series format for you. Like next month, we expect X. Next quarter, we expect this amount of change in our business. So data is going to be anything that's time series format that really encompasses economic conditions, financial metrics and financial behavior of maybe our customers and just the overall economy, consumer behavior, online activity, even climate data is available. And then there's some new data sets around pandemic-related impact today and government stringency index, things like that we can actually add into our forecast in 2021 that if we quantify, we may see that they're great signals for us. The other part of data that's needed is we look for data that are good leading indicators of where your business is heading, where demand will be for your products and services. So not only is it time series data, but we can identify things that change periods in advance compared to your actual sales or the volume of products and categories in different markets. So we look for that data that's not only time series, but we'll find those leading indicators and build some very accurate models for the future. Now, how does AI improve these results and how is it used? Well, AI can be somewhat of a scary topic or a foreign topic to many people. I think you want to simplify it in this case and saying, artificial intelligence is the ability for computers to process lots of information faster than we can as a human. In this case, there's millions of data inputs that are possible. There's billions of calculations over time and statistical rigor that you need to apply AI to because it will speed up the time to value or time to insight. AI can be anything from neural networks that classify data. So you take a training set where economists and data scientists have tagged this different data outside your four walls by what category of data it is. Is it mobility data? Is it consumer behavior? Is it economic? Is it financial? And then new data that flows in, well, neural networks have a great ability to classify that data. And they can use that training set and say, you know what, this new data set appears to be economic data or macroeconomic data or consumer behavior data, so that all this new data very quickly can get leveraged by companies. You don't have to do it by hand. The other piece to AI in our case is we leverage the power of AI to build, test lots of models and find the right combination of indicators, which can be a very daunting task. How do you know what are the 10, 12, 5, 6 things that you should look at for this area of your business? Well, there's so many possible combinations that here at Prevedere, we'll leverage what our economists do and what's in their head, coupled with an AI engine and what really we call augmented intelligence. So it's not just artificial, something that's going to think for you or drive a car for you, things like that. This is augmented intelligence, where we're taking how data scientists, how economists, how business users think, coupled with the power of algorithms that can process things very quickly. And that's our AI. Now, the last question, is this new way of forecasting a replacement for the existing internal process or an add-in? Well, it is definitely an add-in. We're not going to replace that internal knowledge that you have on your company, that your sales team has from the customers that they talk to, that your operations team has from understanding production and supply issues. It's really an add-in. Think of it like baking a cake. Just using one ingredient, maybe 2 ingredients, it's not going to taste that well. But if we can combine all the right ingredients, which mean external influences, internal knowledge, right, sales team's knowledge, and build a consensus, we're going to be more accurate. And when we've done that over the years, we've found that just looking at one of those areas, or maybe 2 of those areas, isn't enough. This is like the third leg of a 3-legged stool, according to one of our customers. It combines and adds that extra external piece to make it a more stable and reliable piece of furniture, in this case, a forecast. So that's a conclusion. We went through what is intelligent forecasting, what are some of the key data assets needed, how does AI improve results, and is this a new way of forecasting, or is this an add-in, which again, this is an add-in. This is modernizing the way companies forecast and plan, and something I think all companies will be doing in the next year, 2 years. It'll be unheard of not to include external factors. Well, that's it for this week's conversation. I hope you found some of my thoughts useful. Thank you to Chrissy and the marketing team here at Prevedere for producing this recording, and of course putting together the visual elements in this video. And as I mentioned, I'm looking forward to continuing this recording on a weekly basis. So if any of you have questions or topics you'd like us to look into, please feel free to reach out to me directly or send an email to marketing@prevedere.com. Thank you for listening. We'll be recording another session next week.